Welcome to Uluwatu's Bali cliffside house that blends Indonesian craftsmanship with a lot of vibrant color and modern living. If you love color, wood, and just incredible eclectic design that is out of this world, you will love this video. Let's go right in. Now, as soon as we come inside, you can already see that this is just an incredible home, and I love this bold start with this bright ultramarine blue. This villa has over 167 square meters, so it is quite large. It spans over 2 floors, and it has been completed only in 2024, but when you take a look, you'll feel like this villa has actually been here forever. And before we go upstairs to take a look at the local areas, I just want to spoiler a little thing, and that is that you will never guess what is hiding above me. And actually, this is going to be the swimming pool, and it is absolutely incredible. And actually, if you go underneath, you can see that under the swimming pool, we have a small veranda. And above me, we have an incredible mural by the LA artist, Brian Tyler Martinez, a dear friend of the owner and the family who lives here. And he spent like almost a week on his back painting this mural in the same style that Michelangelo does. So it is absolutely insane. Now let's go upstairs and take a look. If you don't know me, my name is Jane and I'm an interior designer, and every week we bring you the best and most unique home tours in the entire world, so go and subscribe if you haven't. There is so much to tell you about this home that I don't even know where to start. It is located in Uluwatu in Bali on this like lower half island, and we are overlooking the entire jungles of Uluwatu as well as the ocean, and it is absolutely incredible. This home has actually been created by the owner and architect himself, by Keith Marks, and the interior design was handled by Ham Design Group. And the structure of the home is basically a wooden box that has been layered by wood that has been taken from the shrines of the neighbors. And the goal with this house was to just create this floating sensation as if you're living on the top of the world, and it absolutely feels like that. You know what I think is crazy? We're so super close to hitting 50,000 subscribers, and you can help us achieve that. So please double check if you've subscribed to the channel. And as soon as you enter the home, you're actually greeted by this double height atrium that is absolutely incredible and just has this very grand entry. And these columns, they're called wiggly columns. And their unique shape just really creates the heart and essence of the home. Now let's go and take a look at the first living area. So one thing that is quite uncommon about this house is that when you enter, you actually have the bedrooms in the lower floors, and then you actually have to take the stairs up, and then the more public areas of the home are actually situated in the top. And I think here in Uluwatu, it actually makes a lot of sense, because being situated further up in the house just gives you these incredible lush views. Up here, we actually have 2 different common areas. Now this is the one that is actually fully enclosed by walls and glass. And so you just have this very calm and clear atmosphere in it. Here we have 2 day beds on both sides, as well as a large circular marble table that just looks really grand. And it has this beautiful pinkish veining. And it just really reminds me of all of these shells that you can find on the beaches in Uluwatu. It is super cool. So to both sides, we have 2 day beds that just have this very laid back and relaxed vibe. And you actually get to relax on the day bed right next to this full-on glass facade. So you just feel really in contact to nature. And we actually also filmed an apartment in Copenhagen where you guys really love the day bed. So comment if you like this one just as much. The interior here is really sophisticated, but at the same time it is very eclectic. And my favorite piece and also focal point in this design are these 2 incredible chairs that are standing on both ends of the table. And if you know me and if you've seen some of our videos, you know that I love it when you actually don't just have one typical type of chair, but actually multiple ones. And so these 2 black and white chairs have actually been sourced in Thailand while the family was taking a trip there, and they found this incredible up-and-coming Thai designer who created them, and they just knew that they had to have them. And I really love these like phrase from the outside. It reminds me kind of a peacock or of a chicken, and it just looks super flamboyant. I really like it. And what I think this design does just beautifully is that it just perfectly mixes these really eclectic pieces of interior design, or also this incredible artwork behind me that has also been created by a local Balinese artwork who always draws these like mystical creatures from Balinese mythology, and it is really cool. But at the same time, the space still feels very clean, and you have a lot of really clean lines, and it doesn't feel overwhelming. Because often people are scared of eclectic pieces of furniture because they feel like it will just completely overwhelm the design. But this is just a great example that if you keep everything else quite calm, it can actually really make a design pop. And I think that another reason why this design works just so well and feels so rich and layered and full of character is that instead of having just regular white walls, the entire house is built from wood. And so both the wooden structure of the wood on top that has just been laid bare and that we can take a look at, also like the kitchen, as well as the walls, are all covered in this gorgeous natural wood, and it just gives you this really deep and rich design language. And you know, I absolutely love wood. It just always adds this very warm and personal layer to the design. Now, the name of this artist is Ari Bagus Maruta. I think if he has any types of connections, I will link him down below because I think he's a really cool artist. And another thing that I think the couple did really well is that they actually source all of the decor that you can find here within Bali or within the Indonesian archipelago. And so you just have all of these very traditional, antique, handcrafted pieces of art, and it just creates this very timeless feel to the design. And another standout feature of this home is that we actually, you will see also in the bedrooms, we have this incredible selection of ceramic tiles. And also most of these ceramic tiles within this house have actually been designed by Philip Lakeman, an artist who hand paints and handcrafts the tiles here in Indonesia. But first, let's go and take a look at the second common area. You know, I'm always talking about that you shouldn't overwhelm your design with too many different focal points and just too many things demanding attention. But I feel like in this design, everything is really spectacular. The pool seems like it is floating. It has a completely different design language and a much more modern, playful, and whimsical feel to it. And it is also completely covered with this like pink plaster, and it looks just beautiful. But I think because we have so many space between the different areas, everything still gets to shine in its right moment. So over here, we have the second communal area. It is actually an outside sofa area where you can relax, where you can have a meal, and it feels very informal, almost like a surfer shack. And you can just see that here, the goal is to really just live with your surroundings and to just constantly be in touch with nature. And also, instead of having a regular column here, we have one that just has these beautiful triangular shapes. And the shapes actually really remind me of the traditional Balinese temples that we have here on the island. So you can see that everything is just really rooted in its locations and within its surroundings. And it couldn't be more beautiful. And a second great thing that you can do if you want to restrain your like eclectic feel of your home a little bit is to just use and repeat the same design elements consistently. And so here we have this really unique lamp that has a very sculptural aesthetic, but we will actually see these lamps repeated again in the bedrooms. And so this is also just what creates this eclectic consistency. Your eye already knows it, so it isn't too overwhelming. You guessed it, it's time for our color palette analysis. Now, Kado Kubu is a beautiful example of combining modern colors with more historic and traditional ones. It's a masterpiece of layering done right. Now, the base color of the palette is built around the structure of the house, and that is this gorgeous dark brown from the teak wood. And then to add a pop of color and to add contrast, we have this gorgeous coral pink. I absolutely love this color. I don't know why people don't do this more often. The soft pink plaster gives the entire architecture a very strong sun-baked, almost Mediterranean feeling in this Bali house. It's warm, but at the same time it's slightly muted. And of course, the pink also perfectly contrasts this turquoise blue water that we have on top of it. It's absolutely gorgeous. And what I think is really interesting is that the deep brown wood really grounds the entire pops of color and just creates this rich, warm, but also grounded design. Now this color palette feels warm, intimate, and completely connected to its surroundings. If you want to learn more about color and color palettes, we have ready-made color palettes including hex codes and a full psychological breakdown just for you. They're perfect if you want to get inspired for your own home and to see just what is possible. And of course, if you want to dive even deeper into the topic of color, we have a full interior design color masterclass. Back in the entryway, you can again just see this marvelous mix of this modern and playful design language that is just rooted in today's design language. And then at the same time, we have these very historical looking, but modernly interpreted columns, and it is really cool. So the entire lower area has actually been created from cement rather than from wood, and it has been painted in a super soft pinkish plaster, and it's absolutely beautiful. And the entire layout of the house is very symmetrical so that you always have 2 rooms on each side as well as 2 common areas on top. Let's go and take a look at the first room. Now just take a look at this absolutely perfect bedroom. In the center we have a large bed, and then there's this large wooden headboard that just seems like it's hugging you from around, and that just creates this very warm and calming energy. And because you don't really need the space on top of your bed, it's always a really great situation where you can showcase your personality a little bit. And so here we also have this incredible, really unique, basically almost artwork from different types of tiles that have been combined. And what's crazy is that these tiles are also made by Philip Lakeman. And they just really show the Balinese craftsmanship and just this local heritage of the place. But at the same time, you can see that the entire design is still very modern and bright and very warm. And I also love that instead of just plain on plastering the walls white, they've created all of these little, I'm not sure what they're called in English, but like these frills or what they're called. And this also just adds this structure. And so structure is also always a great way to just incorporate this additional tactile layer to your design. And behind this wall, we actually have a wardrobe hiding. You guys are always asking me where the storage is, but here we have the same design repeated again. And it's always really beautiful if you're able to create these very seamless, almost invisible areas of storage, because you'd never have enough of it. In front over here, we have a small little seating area with a gorgeous little sofa chair, and the small table's also been accentuated with the same lamp that we also saw on the outside. And this little composition here already is like its own little artwork because it just has so many sculptural shapes that just really pop off this white background. Now, let me show you the bathroom. What is so cool about this bathroom is that we have a sliding door that also doubles as a full-on mirror, and the mirror actually is from both sides. And this is just also a very space-saving, smart, and beautiful solution. And now just take a look at this bathroom. You can see that the mirror also continues on the side of the wall, and it just visually really extends the bathroom and makes it seem much larger than it is. And the bathroom itself is a long rectangular room that is divided into 3 spaces. Over here we have a toilet with a gorgeous light fixture that just acts as a small work of art. And then as a wall divider, we again have these incredible tiles. And I mean, if you just take a look at this wall divider, it's a work of art. I'm really in love with it. And I love that they combined so many different types of tiles here in the bathroom. So a total 3 different ones, because it just creates this very rich and layered design, even though the space is basically, it could just be a regular bathroom, but it isn't. You know, I'm absolutely in love with tiles, and I just love their tactile materiality. And whatever place we visit, I always have to touch all of the walls or all of the doors because I'm always interested in how the material will feel. And instead of having your regular shower niche where you put all of your shampoos, which is also a beautiful solution in my opinion, you have the small incredible copper table, and it just creates this little luxurious wow moment within the design, and you can really see that the designers left no corner untouched. We can also exit the bathroom from here. And now we're going to take a look at the second bedroom, and maybe after we'll go for a swim, who knows? Welcome to the second bedroom. Come in. Now, this is the second bedroom. It is basically a mirrored version of the other one, but there are some similarities as well as some differences. So here we have the gorgeous artwork, also of a Balinese artist, and it just really pops off of this structural linear background, and it is super beautiful. And in this bedroom, we don't actually have an inbuilt wardrobe, but instead we have this beautiful rattan external wardrobe. And the rattan design also is very typical for Bali because you just have a lot of different types of rattan furniture on the island. And then of course we also have our own little bathroom. And here again, just take a look at this absolutely gorgeous tile combination. And this home is actually one of the homes that is hosted by Stays with Lola, and their service and also the homes that they show are just incredible. So if you're looking to find a cool place on Bali, definitely go and check them out. I hope you enjoyed our video. Definitely go and subscribe if you haven't yet. And while I'm going to go for a swim, you can go and watch some more of our videos.